Hello everybody, this is Evershade Gaming with a 2.0 Empire of Sonnstahl beta review. I'm joined with Maxwell and I.
Hello, hello.
He is I would say, very good EOS player, and he's been playing the army.
New player. I don't know how good I am.
Didn't you take first place at Buckeye, or first EOS?
Yeah, first EOS, but that was like 20th place overall, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I feel like you've been playing the game long enough, and you've definitely played EOS quite a bit over the last year, so I trust your opinion.
It's been a lot more.
I've obviously been playing EOS a lot in 1.3. I played him at 2 tournaments.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Battle Cry, and I played him at Adepticon.
Yep. Yeah, because then you swap back to Orcs.
Flipped Orcs.
Buckeye.
Yeah. But the numbers. So
I've definitely been playing Empire for just about.
But I played Empire more this year than any other army.
Yep.
Probably my favorite army to play right now. Just kind of love the army, love the rules, and I have to say, I think 2.0 is going to be great.
It looks pretty spicy
for Empire.
Yeah.
So this is an official 2.0 review. I did a little playtesting in the army for the internal committee and for Blondebeard and all those good guys.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're sitting down, and it's almost Christmas time,
and
we're gonna look at the rules, and we're gonna tell you guys what's what and what's looking good. So
I'm excited.
Let's start right away with first thing first is the blessings, which have not really changed very much, except balance spells have changed big time. Now, by the time you're going to be hearing and watching this review, the Main Rulebook have already come out. So you should know the rules of balance spells. We'll go over real quick. So the way they did balance spells now is you don't have to roll your dice anymore. They come with 2 power levels. Power level 4, power level 8. If you want to cast power level 4, you just take 2 dice, it's cast. That's it. If you want to cast it at power level 8, take 3 dice, it's cast. It's pretty simple, honestly.
It kind of balances out a little bit more. You're not one dice.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you can't 1 dice spells anymore. Which was really good when they came. When they went off, because at the end of the phase, you could be like, all right, I got 1 dice. Let me try these bounce spells. If they go off, it's gonna be great. If they don't, whatever. Some of the time,
really put your opponent on the back foot if it does go off. And that was one of the best parts of Empire, was being able to just
1 dice does really good bounce spells. So they're still there, and they're still available. You're probably just going to have... I think it's... Overall with balance spells, my experience is just... you're less likely to get the one you want.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to put it.
Yep, kind of puts it in your opponent's hands.
Yeah, if you want... If you want to get the flaming one off because you're fighting trolls, and you're like, alright, well, let me throw the 5-up one first. Your opponent's probably going to let that go, and then he's going to stop the flaming one.
Essentially, I mean, to really make good use of the bounce spells, you also have to have some other wizard that's going to help.
That's very true, too.
Your
I've tried running bounce spells at least just like 2 or 3 times now.
Mm-hmm.
Only bounce spells.
Mm-hmm.
It has not worked out great, unfortunately. You really need a wizard to combine with it, especially because it's just the way the dice go now. Because sometimes you don't get the even amounts of dice. You don't get maybe you want to cast the bounce spell with 3 dice. 3 different times or something like that. We only got 8 dice.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can cast 2 with 3, and then you have to cast 1 with 2.
And because this doesn't actually boost the actual spell at all, it's just changing the casting value.
Yes.
So it's just depending on where your opponent's at with how many dice they have left.
So you can always save 2 dice at the end of your phase, and if your opponent has to stop your other spells from your wizard, then you can guarantee getting off your bounce spell, which is nice too.
Yep.
So the bounce spells, they're great still. I mean, the blessing rule is still really good on your pellet. He's fine.
Yep.
They're effective. Just might have dampened a little bit, I would say, but they're still effective.
Yep.
And now we're looking at parent units. Parent units didn't really change too much overall. There's a little bit new blue text. Most of it's just kind of reorganizing it for all the new rules.
Mm-hmm.
It's still pretty much your Imperial Guard, your heavy infantry. Those are your 2 main parent units.
Then you got all that light infantry with your crossbows.
Yeah, and that's still your supporting infantry. Yeah.
Well, that's supporting.
The supporting units, they change quite a bit. So supporting units, one of the biggest things is like the new 2.0 really wants you to play with light infantry. They want you to take crosses. They want to take handguns. Because one of the first rules they gave them now is that parent units within 600, supporting units within 6 inches of parent units. Sorry about that. They get fight next rank with their shooting attacks. or they get fighting extra rank for like your like small blocks of 20, and then the shooting your shooting units they can fire in third rank. So that's great.
That's pretty crazy.
Like I definitely like playing kind of a very blocky Empire that's kind of like maybe sitting still and being a little defensive. Is probably a little more viable with like these support rules because the support rules are really solid now.
Think of like units of 30 handgunners. Just
I don't think you can't take them that big.
Oh,
only take 20.
Stacked at 20. Oh, okay.
Otherwise, yeah, you probably would see.
That would be pretty.
You would see
gross.
hordes. You would see hordes of handguns next to like a small block of like 21 heavy infantry.
If you thought bows were bad,
Yeah, so you're not going to see that. But I mean, units of 15, I could see those pop out now.
Yeah, and it keeps them pretty compact.
Yeah, keeps them compact, but keeps them effective.
Yeah,
and then the orders didn't really change too much either. They put the effect for standard size models. That's just again new wording. But they didn't really change too much, except the biggest one that everyone probably didn't care for was Ready and Fire. Targets now gain accurate instead of the +6 inches.
Yeah,
which is really good.
Yeah,
I really love it.
Pretty crazy change.
I've played it a lot. It's just like especially it's great on the crossbows or the handguns. But even the crossbows can kind of sit back, and if they get that +1, if they get accurate, you just hit on 4s. That's just great,
Yeah.
The Steady Man did have a small change. There's a new rule called Shaken. I'm not really entirely sure how it comes up, but like basically units can become shaken now. If they're shaken, they receive -1 to hit, and units that attack them get +1 to hit.
Yeah, it's a pretty big swing in combat.
Yes, yeah. But that's a core rule book. That rule just kind of negates that for the Empire, which is cool. But yeah. Otherwise, they just kind of cleaned up all the orders.
Orders are pretty much the same. Yeah, just changing the wording around.
Most of the weapons stayed the same.
Yeah, there is the Cavalry.
We just have a new entry now. So the newest thing is the Cavalry pick, which is for our Electoral Cavalry and our Knightly Orders.
Yeah, and I initially really liked this one because it gives you the +2 armor penetration.
Yeah.
No strength bonus or anything like that. But
and you can use it with your shield.
And it allows you to use your shield still.
Yeah.
So you're still having your 1-up armor save, it's just giving you better armor penetration.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I like this a lot, however, it can't be enchanted.
This is where you're never going to see a Knight Commander take the Cavalry pick.
Yeah, which sucks.
It really, I think
it'd be so good.
In my opinion, I would have suggested that the Cavalry pick couldn't receive strength enchantments.
That would be something different.
It can't receive strength or armor piercing enchantments because there are enchantments that are just kind of like different stat changes, maybe like Rule of the Wounds. We'll talk about the enchantments as we start looking at the characters more. Yeah, I think that could have been interesting. But no weapon enchantments, I think you're not going to see taken.
Yeah, it's just going to be on those I
mean, being strength 4 with AP 3 is nice, but it's not going to kill too many things.
Take it on your big unit. It's like
So I think it's interesting it's a little bit more interesting for the strength 4 knights in core,
right? And that's the only way I'd see it.
I could see taking blocks of those because they're still really grindy. They're kind of always going to be able to kind of like maybe do some damage.
Can you take these on the young griffins?
No, they're still restricted to halberds or lances.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would have been an interesting option for them.
That would be interesting. Because then the whole demogryph behind you.
Yeah, because then the whole unit just has really good armor penetration.
Yeah,
that could have been interesting.
Mess people up
instead of the halberd. But the problem is then you get really good armor penetration instead of your shield. So they probably didn't want that combination.
Right.
Otherwise, all the guns have pretty much just been updated with the new rules. They didn't really change.
The same though. Yeah.
They didn't change.
No changes.
One of the new changes that all 9th Age armies received was a hereditary spell. However, EOS is the only army that did not receive a spell.
Shunned.
However, we did get I'm a little bit jealous because a lot of the hereditary spells are really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember I'm trying to think. I guess Beast Herds will already be out by the time this review's out. Beast Herds one is like you get Terror or something like that.
Is it really?
Yeah, and then I think it's like the Terror combination, so that like they get Terror, and then it's also like another -1, so that you can like do crazy stuff with the Jabberwock.
Man, they hit the Jabberwock again.
But this one, this is an interesting hereditary spell. So instead of getting a new spell for the army, we have the option to switch out one of our spells, and we get the #1 spell of one of our lores.
Just any lore that you normally have the choice.
Yes. We'll talk about the lores in a second, because the wizard has a new lore, which is interesting. But I think it's
awesome flexibility.
Yeah, I think it's cool flexibility. Yeah. Like, I mean, if you took pyromancy, but then you came up against something with you came up against in a tournament, you just have pyromancy, and then somebody's got this really tough single model with a good armor save.
Mm-hmm.
Take the signature spell from it. It's not the signature spell, but take the #1 spell from alchemy. Is still
metal shift.
The metal shift. Or no, it's not metal shift anymore. But yeah, it's still I think it's just D4 D3 +1 hits that always wound on their armor save or whatever.
Yeah,
you can always just take that. Or you're like, oh, this army's got a lot of playing against elves and they got a lot of bow or something like that. Let me take a fireball or something like that. You know?
Yep.
I right now I just have. Actually, well, I think everybody already knows by the time. Cosmology is the new lore for Empire, which is really cool. So, say you're playing with Cosmology, but then you run against, Sylvan Elves, and they got a bunch of bows. Mm-hmm. Take the Fireball,
Yep.
That's not a bad way to just kind of knock some bodies off. So I think it gives Empire a lot of flexibility, I would say, which is neat.
Definitely.
Which is kind of what the Army's always been about.
You can do that with, Life Too, be able to just heal up some of your bigger stuff.
No, we don't have Druidism. We have Pyromancy, Cosmology, Alchemy, and I feel like it's going to be so obvious. I don't know why I can't think of it. It's because it didn't change or anything. We lost Thaumaturgy.
Pyromancy, Divination, Cosmology.
Divination. Yeah, that's right. Divination. I can't think what the Divination one spell is, because the spells, they all kind of fluctuated around, and I don't want to show the spells, or I don't have the spells up to date exactly at this moment while I'm recording. But you'll see when the main rulebook comes out how you generate spells.
It was just tweaking at this point, though.
It's all just tweaking at this point, but I don't want to put something out that's just not going to be coming on 2.0. So just being careful.
Absolutely.
But this spell generation is great now. But let's look at the new special items for the Empire.
Yep.
So one of the biggest changes in 2.0 is the change from magic items being just like an item itself to them being enchantments now.
Similar to how dwarves have always had their runic system.
It's very similar to that.
Everybody can now just kind of put these enchantments on their individual pieces.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of things don't. I guess the only thing that is not enchantments are kind of like the things that were enchanted items or arcane items.
Right.
Those are still kind of just like little. They're called. They've called trinkets. We have artifacts right now. I kind of like artifacts. I think that's a good name for them.
Artifacts was a bit more like mysterious. Yeah. Almost. Trinkets is kind of like.
Trinkets almost makes me think of something
like a toy or something. Yeah.
Nothing
menacing.
So one of the coolest thing now is the way weapon enchantments work too. So weapon enchantments, the good example is, let's look at the first one right now. We have the Light of the Sonnstahl. That's the new name for the Sonnstahl. The Light of the Sonnstahl, which is a good name. It's a hand weapon enchantment, so it can only be put on a hand weapon. It can't be put on a great weapon. It can't be put on a paired weapons. Only a hand weapon.
I'm interested why they went with Sonnstahl though instead of Sunna. Because isn't that supposed to be
the Sunna?
Yeah. Because now it's Sonnstahl.
I'm not sure the Sonnstahl is supposed to be from Sunna though. I guess we'll have to wait until we get some more background.
Sonnstahl?
Light of Sonnstahl.
The Light of Sonnstahl.
It's the Empire, baby.
What
is
is
the
Sonnstahl?
Light of the Empire.
Okay, I like it. I don't know. I'm still in the dark with all of the
we all are.
Mythos behind everything. So
the Sonnstahl is still great. It's the same as it's always been.
Yep.
It didn't change from 1.3 to 2.0.
Still really freaking expensive, but really good.
Well, great for what it does.
Yeah, great for what it does. Absolutely.
The Death Warrant is a totally new item, and I love it. It's probably one of the best items in a lot of books. I'd say it's probably one of the best items I've ever seen in a long time.
For 55
points. So it's a hand weapon enchantment, so it can only be your guy's gonna be sword and board with it. Attacks made this weapon gain battle focus. If a hit is scored with it against an enemy unit, friendly models with parent unit or support unit gain battle focus with attacks allocated against the same enemy unit in the same phase.
And so, big thing here, we have to talk about battle focus.
Yes, so battle focus is a totally new rule.
Yes.
They reworked Frenzy and kind of split up aspects of frenzy.
Yeah.
So battle focus is the good side of frenzy.
Yes, absolutely.
Battle focus is whenever you get a natural roll to hit of a 6, you do 2 hits.
Just doubles your hits.
Doubles your hits.
So gross.
So like whenever you have any misses, you're basically like, oh, well I had 3 6s, so whatever. Just pick up the dice. But if you have few misses, it's even better. Like if you roll 10 dice, you get 2 or 3 6s, you only missed once.
Yeah.
Now you hit more times than you even have attacked.
I know. So there can be some crazy swings with this, especially in a huge unit.
And this is also affected by hatred too. Because you're rerolling the hit.
This was Spears.
With Spears, it'd be very spicy.
We'll get to Spears in a second.
Yeah. So battle focus is great. But the thing to remember is it only affects your parent use support units. So it affects your
can't be your knights, can't be any of your mounted.
Well, it can't be like your characters is the biggest thing.
Okay, yeah.
That's really the biggest thing. It's not going to affect your characters. Yeah, it's not going to affect your knights, not griffin.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, for like your heavy infantry, for your Imperial Guard, this is a great item on like a BSB or a prelate.
It's cheap,
really great. It's just
comboed. You're still going to get good armor saves.
All you got to do is hit once with it too. You don't have to wound. You just got to hit with it once. So it's great. And then we have the Hammer of Witches, which has been completely reworked. It used to be like it gave you a crush attack, and I think it was a great weapon. Now the bearer has strength 5, basically. Or, sorry, no, it's attack value set to 5.
So 5 attacks.
That's interesting, actually. That's different.
And so, because
you know what? This is probably for the Inquisitor, actually.
This would be really gross
on the Inquisitor, yeah.
The Hammer of Witches.
For some reason, I kept reading it was strength set to 5, not attack value. Because attack value, that's pretty good for an Inquisitor going from 2 to 5.
Yep, and so he's also, it's a little bit of flavor.
Yeah.
If your opponent has channel, you get battle focus against them.
So and
magic attacks.
You always get magic attacks, but the battle focus.
Okay, it's only against
battle focus against channel. So yeah, it's definitely a more situational item. But for 30 points on an Inquisitor, I could see that being a lot of fun.
You're gonna mess up somebody's Cavalry.
I guess I just wish that it wasn't only. I wish it had more. I wish it was a melee weapon enchantment.
Yes, versus a hand weapon. Yeah, because that really limits you to
because I don't even think the Inquisitor can. I think he can take like a great weapon, and I think he can take like a paired weapon or something like that. So I feel like that would just give him more options outside of when he's not fighting, something with channel or something like that. Although I guess even 5 attacks with a great weapon is pretty spicy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
see what happens with this. I'm sure there's going to be some fun lists.
I'd like to see. I
wanted to run the Witch Hunter for a long time.
I know. I had some 1.3 Inquisitor lists that I never got to play with.
Yep.
I guess we'll have to test something without 2.0.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of play testing to do.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the weapon ones. We just have 3. And then these are the armor ones. So the same thing. Armor got a really big rework because before it was like you can only take. You got your one armor. Now the great thing about armor is you can enchant multiple times depending on the thing.
And so you can get multiple effects going on, really customize
so Empire,
your armor.
You can have 3 armor enchantments on one guy. Because we could just look at the first, well, not the first 3. But you can have a suit of armor, you could have a shield, and then we have a barding enchantment too.
Yeah.
So you could have barding 3 enchantments on one dude, which is fun. 3 armor enchantments.
Yep.
So the first one is the Imperial. It is a lot of points. The first one we have is the Imperial Seal. This is models on foot only. This is the old Blessed Armor of Frederick the Great. It got a little bit of rework, and I like it. It's a plate armor enchantment, which you might be like, oh no, my prelate, he can't take it anymore. But just wait and see. The wearer gains +2 armor save and +1 discipline.
So he's going to get that 1 up on foot. He's going to get that +1 discipline, which is what we were putting on that prelate a lot of the time anyway, right?
I was doing that all the time.
If you're not running, a Knight Commander, or if you just don't want them to be the general, this is a great option.
No, for just like a Marshal on foot, that's a great, like a leadership. Now you can have a leadership 10 Marshal.
That. Yep, absolutely.
As your general. And then the wearer's unit cannot volunteer flee as a treasure. So that's like a little bit of a nerf. But if you're in a big buffed up unit, a lot of times like Empire's ready for the charge, honestly.
Yeah, you're not going to want to flee in.
Or I guess maybe you're just going to be a little more careful the way you're maneuvering, so you don't get too close and whatnot.
Yeah,
absolutely. But I like it. I think it's a good rework. Then we have the Cardon's Courser.
Yep. So this is that barding enchantment that we were talking about.
This is Knight Commanders and Marshal only, which is
removes it from the prelates.
Yeah, because he could take it. He could have taken it. Yeah. But it's fine. So 1 use only, maybe act at the start of a friendly player turn. For the duration of this player turn, all friendly units within 6 inches of the bear must reroll failed charger action. So this is kind of cool because this affects infantry now.
Yeah.
Like before,
it was only knights.
Yeah, before it was the banner. There was only knights, and I mean, I think even 1 point it affected the steam tank, but then they changed it.
Yeah, they did. It was because it was all things with Swift Ride. I think.
And then they didn't want it to affect the steam tank.
Right. Even though,
who was taking the steam tank at 1 point?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I think it's interesting. I haven't played with it yet, but I want to. And actually, when I was playtesting, it was 60 points. I found it really hard to take it 60, for especially like on a Marshal BSB on a horse or something. I couldn't find any good way to give him any armor save or anything.
It's going to limit your combinations.
But now at 50, I think the combinations is opened up again.
Might be more workable.
And it's definitely takeable.
Cool.
So,
some potential there.
Yeah. So then we have the Black Steel. This is another plate armor enchantment. So this is also, I love this one too. This is the bear gains +1 armor and fear, and if taken on a model on foot, here's an extra +1 armor.
So pretty awesome. Just gets your plate armor down to a 2-up.
Yeah.
And then you just take a shield and you got a 1-up.
Yeah.
Like
it's
dope.
great. But even it's not bad for a guy mounted too.
Oh yeah,
for
sure.
45 points.
I mean, because you already are going to get that barding.
And the fear's not bad either if you're not on a Griffin or something like that. I could see Knight Commanders taking this.
Does a Griffin not cost fear anymore?
No, the Griffin does. I'm saying if you're not on a Griffin.
Oh, if you're not, gotcha.
Yeah. I guess really if you're on a horse. If you're on a horse, you can take this for the fear, and that's fun.
Yeah.
And then, so, moving on, we have the Witchfire Shield. This is an interesting one. So this is a shield enchantment. So the bearer gains an Aegis 5-up against magical attacks. So pretty much anything with magical attacks is like enemy lords and heroes with weapons.
Special
troops. Anything gets affected by a spell.
Yep.
So it's interesting.
Fair use, I think.
At 45 points, it's not too bad. And then also you get the little added bonus of miscast over by enemy models within 12 inches gain plus a miscast modifier.
Yeah, so that could help swing the balance on a few things.
It's interesting.
It's kind of like fringe benefit. There's not a whole lot.
I don't think you'll see a lot of the miscast modifiers, especially because the way they redid miscasts.
Only 12 inches, like that's not.
It's not short. Maybe if you get in combat with the guy, you're fighting him, and he tries to cast out his unit or something like that. I can see it. But for the most part, you're really going to get the final forward thing with magic. So it's not bad. It's a cheap shield enchantment. 45 points. It's not bad. I like it. And then we have one more shield enchantment. It's the Shield of Woland. I actually really like this one too. It's another. It's a shield enchantment. While using this shield, attacks against the bear with lethal strike and/or battle focus lose these attack attributes.
So it's a bit of a nerfing your opponent that's swinging at you.
But I mean, a lot of times you got those 1-up armor saves.
The problem against this, I mean, the biggest thing is, I don't know. Yeah, negates that lethal strike. Battle focus is like.
Battle focus is. It's in a lot of places. I think it's going to be more places than you think.
If this gave you +1 to your armor as well, that would be really good.
That would be really good. Yeah.
That would be something worth taking. I don't know how often this is going to be taken.
I think it's decent. For 30 points, I think it's not too bad.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
It's not the best one. I think the best ones are probably the Imperial Seal and the Black Steel. Those are the true winners. Yeah. Cardin's Courts there could be interesting running knights. So then looking at the artifacts, we have the first two are the Winter Cloak.
This one doesn't seem to have changed much.
It got cheaper. It dropped by 10 points.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Bear gains distracting, Aegis 5 and fireproof. Which, with the change to all the other magic items, it's actually really good now.
I mean, I thought it was solid already. I mean, I know there wasn't a whole lot of room for it.
Well, the problem is it was 100 points, and it was a 5-up forward save. And you could take an item that was 100 points to get a 4-up forward save.
That's true.
That item doesn't exist anymore, though.
So now, just by that not being around anymore,
that not being around,
the value
the 5-up,
is
the 5-up with distracting and fireproof is looking a lot better.
Yep.
Fireproof is the new Fireborn. Yep. So, if you're not aware of that,
and then Aegis save.
Yeah, the Locket of Sunna also has not changed in price or anything.
Which is fine. I think it was pretty balanced.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's still a great item. It's still great on your prelates. It's still great on your. It's not even bad on your inquisitors. I kind of like the idea of putting it on wizards.
Wizard! I don't know about a wizard. Inquisitor is like the trap choice, though. That would be so much fun.
Yeah, but it's good. I like it. And then we have a new one. This is a totally new item called the Exemples Flame.
So this is
great name.
Wizards only. It's a dominant, so this is the only artifact that you can have on the wizard.
Yes, correct. If it's a dominant item, which I've actually only really seen it on the artifacts portion of items.
Yeah.
If it's a dominant item, because now you can take 2 artifacts.
Yeah.
Which is because they're kind of like your enchanted items, old arcane items. Mm-hmm. So now you can take 2, but if it's a dominant item, you can only take 1. So most of the time, if it's dominant, it's good. So this one, it's a lot of wording, but basically you choose a unit at the start of the game. That unit can get lethal strike if you discard one of your Veil tokens. The Magic has been totally reworked. I'm not sure how many people have looked at all the rules yet, but basically Magic is now a card-based system where you draw a card, and it tells you how many power dice and dispel dice you and your opponent get, and then it also generates Veil tokens. The Veil tokens are sort of like channeling, but a little bit more fun. Mm-hmm. You get so each card will be you get 5 Veil tokens, and then anything that channels also generates a Veil token. So it's very easy to get Veil tokens,
especially in Empire.
Especially in Empire, because there's been sometimes where I have 3 or 4 things that channel.
Yep,
that's 4 Veil tokens. That's an extra dice, and you can use your Exemplar Flame over time.
Just give something lethal strike and magic attack.
And this is so good on spears. It's so good on halberds. It's so good on your sword and board Imperial Guard.
Yep.
Very good. Because it's also I think it's only a parent unit or I think it's any unit. Oh yeah, sorry, it's a single parent unit. So yeah.
Can put this on those spearmen or put them on the
Imperial Guard. Whatever big block you have that's holding down your center. This unit now has lethal strike
and magic attacks. I mean,
and magic
that's kind of more.
Well, you'll see every now and then you'll see where magic attacks are really good now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a good item. The Dama is a drawback, obviously, because it's the only one that you can take, and it's wizards only, so you can't take any of the things that help you cast, magic and stuff like that.
This is going to give you a little bit more combat power.
But that combat power is
consistent too.
Yeah. So I like it. It's a good item. And the last artifact that the Empire had is also this is a beauty. So the Mantle of Aura. I'm almost surprised this one's not dominant because it's so good.
And it's so cheap too.
35 points. Enemy units within 6 inches of the bearer do not gain +1 agility for charging momentum. So all units that charge in the game now gain +1 agility when they charge. Doesn't matter what you are or what you have, you gain +1 agility, which is initiative. That's the new name for initiative. This just cancels that out.
Rid of it.
So look, those ogres charging your halberds they're Initiative 2 and you're Initiative 3. Now they're still Initiative 2 and you're still shooting first.
I mean, they just know what's coming essentially, but this is a very large leveler of. I love it.
I love it.
They were trying to balance. Could just give more bonus to charging.
Yeah.
But it's just we're gonna get rid of that.
Yeah. So now it's who wants to charge Empire units?
Yeah, I know.
Because it's also within 6 inches. So if you can have this guy in a corner, you can protect multiple units with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless the unit is really small.
That's true.
You're 10 wide or something like that, and they hit you on the corner. Your wizard, or whoever's got the mantle.
You'll be able to measure that out. But I don't think that's going to be a problem.
It's pretty cool. So again, the same thing in the same vein where weapon and armor are now enchantments. Banners are also enchantments.
Yes, this is probably one of the biggest changes.
Yeah, this is also a really great change too. So we have basically three new banners. One of them is the same name, but a totally different effect. So the first standard, which I love, this is the household standard. If the general is part of the Baird's unit, its commanding presence range and the range which it can issue orders, if it has orders, are both increased by 6 inches.
Hey, 18 inches.
So now you got that 18-inch leadership bubble, and a 12-inch order bubble is really good.
Well, because one of the problems before is if you had, your general on foot and he's trying to, issue orders, you have to be pretty close.
You do have to be close.
And so this guy can throw his orders out to your
light infantry now.
Light infantry that's off on the side and have them be far enough away that it just really frees up your deployment.
It does. And then the inspiring presence is always great. You know, like
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this standard for 50 points I love because you can put it on your core units. You can put it on your Imperial Guard is a great banner for them.
Yep.
Very good. Also, I feel like it's very flavorful. You know, you got like the household standard. Like, it's the pride. Oh, beautiful. So love this banner. And then with the second one we have is Banner Unity. This is again the banner with the same name but totally different effect. So this is a banner that is only on parent units only.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever the bearer's unit is targeted by an order, an additional order can be given for free to a single support unit within 6 inches of the bearer's unit.
So you're not tossing out a couple different orders.
It's a free order, basically.
Free order. And so with a great
you,
tactician,
you get 2
orders.
So
this on
if you
is that 4 orders that you're throwing out a turn?
Yeah.
That's gross.
All maybe within 12 inches. Oh no, I guess it's only within 6 inches of this.
Within 6 inches of the bearer's
So basically,
unit.
let's say you've got a small unit of spears, and they're just flanked by like handgunners or crossbows.
Exactly.
And you've got like your BSB in the spears just chilling, goofing around.
Yep.
He's like, all right, spears, I want you to have steady, men.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you handgunners?
Accurate.
Here's accurate. You know what, spears? You should probably also have fight next to rank.
Yeah.
Oh, you crossbows.
Because
have accurate too. That'd be so up. Yeah, that's kind of cool actually.
Yeah, that's exactly how this is going to be.
Yeah.
It's just going to be against those more, hold deck Empire. I think that's generally the play style anyways.
Yeah.
It's never
been too much of an aggressive army. We're just not fast enough to really get across the field.
Right. It's, I think, more reactionary. You're relying on a lot of buffs.
Yeah.
So it's
good.
to see some good use for 35 points.
35 points, it's great. It's a steal. And then, again, we have one more amazing banner. I'm sad that this one's not 0 to 3.
Can you take this banner of Unity multiple times?
No, it's not 0 to 3.
Okay, so it is.
Some banners are 0 to 3 now, too. That is a huge change you'll see in the rulebook.
Yeah.
And in other army books. We, unfortunately, didn't get any 0 to 3 banners.
Gotcha.
Which I'm almost kind of, I don't know. Marks of the Pennant is almost too good to give 0 to 3, too. Because it's only 10 points. The bearer's unit does not suffer the -1 hit penalty for stand and shoot charge reactions.
They're dwarves, all of a sudden.
That's basically what they did.
10 points.
Yeah, that's how they fixed light infantry. They made them shoot like dwarves.
That's crazy.
Which
you give them accurate, and they don't suffer the stand and shoot. That's pretty dope.
Which, to be fair, dwarf shooting is really good.
It is really good. But, I mean, we paid for it, and so 10 points. I mean...
Yeah.
It's just, it never suffers. It's not even like a one use only. It's like, you forever now.
Yes, this unit forever now will never suffer stand shoot reactions.
Although, I don't know how often people are going to take a charge and then live around to take another charge.
True. You won't see that.
This is definitely going to give them their last hurrah for 10 points.
Yes, for 10 points.
Definitely be worth it.
It kind of keeps the light infantry rocking around. So yeah, I love all the new magic items.
Auto include.
It is. Well, I think almost every army list is going to start having one unit light infantry.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're probably all going to have this marks with that.
Yep.
I just think it's too good almost to pass up now.
Yeah, definitely. For 10 points.
Especially because, just the accurate's really.
What's that? 5 points old money?
Huh?
5 points old money?
Yeah.
Bring back
what the heck is old money?
I know, old money. Sorry.
That's ages ago.
That's a Drew joke, right?
Yeah. So our army organization did not change.
Yeah, same percentages across the board.
Actually, no. I take that back. Our Imperial armory went up.
Up 5 points.
It went up 5%. Yeah. And it went up, and basically, I'm just going to spoil it right now. You can take 4 war machines in Empire.
Yeah, they're kind of.
I don't think you can take 2 cannons and maybe 2 volley guns or something like that.
Right.
But you can take 2 cannons, a mortar, and you probably take 2 cannons, 2 mortars.
And Steam Tank still comes out of this too, right?
It does, yeah. So the Steam Tank really cuts it in half.
Yeah.
But the Steam Tank is also, we'll get to that. The Steam Tank is nice.
Yeah.
So we're just going to start looking now at the individual unit entries.
I'm kind of just paying attention to a lot of the changes.
Yeah. So the Marshal, his stats didn't change. His special rules didn't change. The only thing that really kind of got affected was his costs fluctuated a little bit. In a lot of cases, all the costs went down.
Yeah.
On his weapons, his I think the Great Tactician got a little bit cheaper, was 60 points or something like that.
So just small.
I think his mounts got a little bit cheaper again. It's all just small deductions, but they're all good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Imperial Prince didn't really change either. The only way he changed will be when you look at maybe the magic items. Or really, I mean, how you're going to build your characters is going to be really changed. I'm really going to be curious to see how people start building Empire characters.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously I've had some time to build some. There's some builds I really like right now. But I don't think I found the perfect builds for everything.
Thing was, they just kind of got rid of the typical, like, Lucky Shield isn't a thing
anymore.
like
Lucky Shield's not anything anymore. When we get through the characters, we'll take a look at all the main weapon enchantments and see how they can affect your kind of like your marshals, your knight commanders. Talking about maybe some possible builds, cool stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the Imperial Prince is going to be the more popular choice.
I think he'll pop up a little bit more too. Because there's even, even taking the black plate on foot with him would be great. It'd give him it'd give him a 1-up with a shield. He causes fear, and he still got Sonnstahl.
That 1-up on foot is pretty huge because really that's all you were looking for on the mounted guy.
Yeah,
and now you don't have to take him in this unit of knights.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I can see like the foot Imperial Prince pop up and be a great little piece of your army. He's solid with 4 attacks on the Sonnstahl still.
Yep.
I think he's still gonna be great.
Yeah, I would agree.
The Griffin also. I think the Griffin dropped 20 points. Great Griffins are spicy, guys.
Yeah, dude.
I've been playing Great Griffins like crazy, and I love them. Oh my goodness.
We played. Was it 2 games? I think that you played with Great Griffin, and that guy he did a lot.
He did a lot of work in the one game I won, and then the game where I lost. He got run down to that one Kadeem. I couldn't do that one Kadeem. Otherwise, he would have came in and probably finished off your Titan.
Yeah, he had a lot of utility.
Oh yeah, he was doing some spice stuff. I guess that might have been my fault. I probably shouldn't have charged the heavy with Tram.
No.
Yeah. I thought I would have popped you one round. You just rolled too well.
I think you should have. Yeah. It was a good choice.
Yeah. You just rolled too well.
Get trumped.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Great Griffin I think is gonna be really fun. I think you're gonna see lists with him because I think it's cheap. It's like it's under 500 points. I think.
And for what it can do and the cost,
it's great. Yeah,
definitely an option.
I don't think you get an increase on your order range anymore, though.
It doesn't give you that +6.
I don't think it gives you +6.
Towering presence,
which is probably the only downfall to the new Griffin. Because Great Tactician had a small change, it just gives you 2 orders instead of 1.
Got it.
Used to have them because that's what the household standard does. I guess they kind of split that up. But I think that's okay. Yeah, I think it's still good. So the Knight Commander he got I'd say a decent overhaul. His stats stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
His rule changed big time. It's now called First Knight. And whenever he is joined by a unit of knightly orders, the unit gains Fearless, which is nice. It basically means psychology. And then if he is the general, that unit also gains Para unit. So now you have knights that can take orders. Yeah, it's cool. I haven't seen it work out perfectly yet, but I think there's some really good combinations. I mean, now you can just give them +1 movement. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually,
+4 March is kind of crazy too. March 18th, nice.
Yeah, that is awesome. Do you have to upgrade?
We'll get to that.
Core Knights.
We'll get to that.
All right.
We'll get to that. So, and then his melee options I think got tweaked a little bit, point cost wise. Actually, when I was playtesting him, he didn't have access to a halberd and great weapon, and I've never been so sad to not have access to those. Because this guy usually doesn't really have that much trouble getting good armor save.
Right, and so he doesn't even need
especially like on a horse, he barely needs a shield.
Right.
I was really sad to not have these options. Now that they're back, I think you're going to see them used a lot. Because the lances are nice, but
you get that first turn benefit.
You get that first turn, and then you kind of like...
Unless you're going to rock him with, some of your other magic.
Yes.
Because hand weapons only for Empire here. I don't know, what are the big rulebook enchantments? Can those
we'll get to those
as well?
Yeah, we'll get to that. A lot of the main rulebook weapons are all just melee.
Yeah,
cool. All melee weapons.
Very cool.
So I think you'll see halberds and great weapons a little bit more, especially because this guy's got great niche.
Yeah, 6.
So halberd, actually, I think you're going to see that pop up a little bit. So our prelate, the biggest huge prelate, is this dude can take plate armor now.
Finally.
So now, if you're worried about taking the Imperial seal, don't be, because he can take it now on your pellet still. It's a little more expensive, because now you got to buy plate armor for him, but you can still take it.
Yep.
Then even if just being able to take plate armor is nice, because now you can just, even if, for whatever reason you needed to get a better mundane save, you have the option available now.
It was the only elite guy that couldn't take that plate armor.
Yes, yeah. And then one of the interesting things that in the main rulebook is they just got rid of flails as an option, altogether. Any army that had it just lost it, so they crossed that out. So we'll see how that affects the flagellants later on in the book.
Yep.
They had a decent workover because of that change. But otherwise, your prelate is the same. Blessings, channel 1, still got divine attacks. He's still great. I think they changed the points on the altar of battle.
I think it used to be.
I want to say it was like 450 or something like that.
Bring it down, make it a little bit more.
And viable. I think they kind of dropped the price of horses all over the place. And also, they standardized the Empire horse. We'll look at the mounts in a second.
Which is good, because, cavalry, it was tough.
Yeah, well, it was weird, too, before, where everything was like, you did all these different places, all these different points all over the place for mounts and everything.
Yeah, looks like the altar stayed the same.
Okay, stayed the same? All right, well, it did change, a small change to it. So that's the problem. Looking at the wizard, now the biggest change to the wizard is really just the lores and the way you choose spells now.
So you have cosmology.
So cosmology is our new one, which honestly I hate thaumaturgy.
Yeah,
I don't know how they reworked that lore. I haven't looked at it yet, but I did not like it as an Empire player. It's too random for me. It was random lore,
right?
So it's either could be really good or really bad to me.
Yep.
But cosmology is good.
I'm excited. You've been talking about,
and I think it makes more sense for Empire too, especially when you think of like the Dark Engines and everything, like Dark Engine Foreseeing, especially that to me, I think of cosmology when I think of that. And I feel like Heavens was always kind of like a good lore for Empire back in like 8th edition.
It was, yeah.
So I like cosmetology. Cosmology. Yeah, I like cosmology as well.
Great skin.
I like having good skin. I lotion up every day.
Oh my gosh.
The cosmology is a good lore.
Alrighty. Yeah, so Wizard looks really solid. Cosmology is going to be pretty fun.
Are there any other interesting things you notice that the Wizard can take now?
Well, Wizards in general, I think, now have access to armor. And so...
That is correct.
That is a pretty big change
for
Wizard
these guys. May take later.
It's not just the... Warriors of the Dark God.
Well, because the biggest thing, the biggest thing is like armor enchantments and talismans basically kind of got mushed together.
Yep.
And some of the talismans that didn't get mushed in the armor enchantments are the artifacts / trinkets.
So now you get this wizard with fairly heavy armor save. I don't know why you would. I still probably wouldn't do it.
I don't think you're going to see it a lot, but it's interesting that you can take it.
It is interesting.
Actually, his horse is only 20 points.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
His horse is only 20 points, and it comes with barding.
Oh, it comes with the
mounts protection. Yeah, that's the thing they did. The horses is they all come with mounts protection, 6-up, and barding.
Wow.
Yeah. So like you can have an Empire wizard with a 4-up armor save just running around on a horse.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all. Yeah. If you're not playing against a shooting list, it's great.
Yeah.
Even if you are, if you're kind of hiding him well enough,
we'll see how the lists play out.
It can be interesting.
It's definitely a good option.
And then the other big changes to Magic is now all wizards are wizard novices or wizard apprentices at first. Then you pay 70 points to become a wizard adept. The wizard adept gives you 2 spells. Spells. I think it's almost always spells 2 and 3 of a lore, and you can swap for either 3 can even become 4 or 2 become 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Wizard Master, you get 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing. You can bookend different spells. You get 6 or 1, and then you can also, swap out any of those for the Army Learn spell, the Army Trait spell. So that's kind of cool. So the Wizards, you're definitely gonna see a lot of Wizard Masters. They're pretty spicy.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the way to go.
I think it'd be interesting to see Wizard Adepts. Because they're like cheap. If you take like 2 Wizard Adepts on like horses, it's like 220 points.
That's true.
And then you could give one like the Exemplar's Flame because it's dominant. You can only give him one, and then maybe give the other guy some dominant items.
Just always going around.
Yeah, I think it could be fun. I think that'd be interesting to see somebody run that. So our Inquisitor, he did not change too much either, except again he did like a reworking of his rules.
Yep. Similar to the weapon enchantment, it's a little bit of flavor.
So he lost one rule, which was if you targeted the Inquisitor or his unit, your spell was cast at a -1.
Yep.
Now its magic resistances does the same thing. So magic resistances, if you have magic resistance 2, it's -2 to the cast spell.
Yep.
So I guess they kind of rolled them together.
Interesting.
I'd kind of like to see him have MR3 to kind of make up for the loss of that rule, because right now he's kind of sitting in the same place. Well, he kind of lost the rule with the reworking of it. So, but he has the Witch Hunter rule now, which is if an attack is allocated towards a model with channel, failed to wound rolls, it must be rerolled. So basically, this guy is still kind of like very fluffy for killing wizards.
Yep.
Especially with the Hammer of Witches, he'd be pretty nasty.
And so he has, his Fearless, not a leader, his Magic Res 2.
Yeah.
Still has that lethal strike.
I could have swore for a second they dropped not a leader, and then they put it back on, which I was a little bit sad to see, because I thought it'd be really cool to
have this guy
leading like an army,
like a very themed force.
I feel like, especially with because he could always take plate armor, especially where you could take plate armor. You could have took the Imperial Seal. Yeah, I have like this leadership 9 guy that's like leading. I thought that would have been really cool, but they decided not to do that, which is okay. But I thought it would have been cool if he could have like led an army.
And he did get a bit cheaper.
Yes, he did drop 10 points.
10 points.
Yeah, and I think his options dropped a little bit too.
Got the brace of pistols, the crossbow still, and all looks about the same.
Yeah, okay,
but yeah. Very tempting option stuff.
Yes. And then he can take a horse with light troops. The only thing I'm concerned about is the way they standardized. I think that horse has barding.
So it would just get rid of the light troops?
No, I think they would have both. I think horses with barding can have light troops. Mm-hmm. I just think you don't see it a lot.
Interesting.
It
is 70 points.
I don't know if it's like in the rulebook, if there's some kind of rule I've missed where like if you have barding, you have light troops, you lose, or like the barding doesn't count or something like that. But right now, the way I see, he can still take a horse with barding and have light troops. But now, if he joins a unit of riders, I think he's going to slow them down.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be, or if it's something that's been overlooked. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. But right now, the way I look at it is he gets a horse with barding. So he has like a 3-up armor save just with his heavy armor. Mm-hmm. And then he also has light troops. So he can run around with riders, but they're just going to be a little bit slower.
Yeah.
Which might be the intended thing. Which I'm kind of surprised because how many people are really doing that?
Yeah.
But I guess...
riders are... I like riders.
I love riders.
They're pretty awesome.
They're really good right now. So, I guess they really changed, but they're still really good.
Is that the next list? Can you run like 2 Inquisitors and 2 separate units of 10?
I'm going to get your wizard.
Oh, yeah, you are.
I'm going to kill your wizard. Yeah, so looking at the Artificer, I think this guy looks great. Oh, that's a big change, actually. I never noticed that before. This unit counts towards both characters and Imperial armor.
So it's really going to limit, actually, how many...
And that is going to limit your war machines.
You can take.
Which, because he is solid now.
125 points.
He's better now because light infantry got better, and he has the radiant fire. I think the really big change that makes him better is because he always had the radiant fire for the what was the plus 6 inches.
Yeah.
But now he can have that accurate.
Yeah.
So now he's really good to sit in a unit of light infantry.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know. You could still see him. I mean, you could still see him with some of the cheaper war machines.
Especially if you're not going to run like a great tactician or something that's more central. If you're going to have a more like movement-centric list and have this
You know what? I think you might still be able to take this guy. You could probably take this guy, 2 mortars, 2 Imperial Rocketeers. Wow. And this gun. I think you can fit it all under. I think that's under 900. 200, 400, 180, 180.
Does this guy still work as good as, say, like a Dwarf Engineer?
Yeah, because he's an Engineer 3-up.
He's got that...
so
I'm thinking for, like, the protection value.
No, he can't really do what...
He doesn't have that toughness.
No, well, because, like, because...
weapon necessary, right?
Because he's got the same amount of wounds, but he's just got the lower resilience. Mm-hmm. So no, he can't do what dwarf engineers can do, where they can literally like stop a charge from heavy cav or like fast cav.
Right.
Like like with like a dwarf engineer, you could park him out against like fast cav and just be like, "Come at me!
Yeah.
Like I'll probably kill you. You might do 1 wound to me, but I'll probably do more wounds to you or something."
Blast you with his gun.
Yes, yeah.
So I mean, this guy's gonna sit in his unit. You know, give him that accurate.
He's really.
Also
There's some good synergy between him and light infantry now, and still with war machines. So
you can see him everywhere.
I think he's gonna pop up. I don't think he's gonna pop up as much. Well, I guess he's gonna pop up a lot more than he was in 1.3. Because I mean, who was really taking more points? Also, look how cheap his horse is.
20 points again.
It's cheap.
Cheap horses, very cheap.
Maybe he'll pop up actually with the unit of riders with.
Wow,
but he can't.
yeah,
but he can't give them this.
It's only a parrot.
Yeah, that would be so good.
Accurate on riders.
Oh my gosh! What if riders were a sport unit?
Well,
They're not.
Well,
I guess we'll look, but I'm 90% sure they're
I
not.
don't suffer that move and shoot penalty already, right? Or I'm sorry, accurate is for long range.
Yes. It'd be good for the repeater guns if they could do that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But yeah, I think it's interesting to see him a little more. So we'll just do a quick look at the character mounts. Again, so the horse just seems to have been standardized for all the entries. Where you used to have to pay for barding, now it just comes with barding.
Because everybody's taking it anyway.
Yeah, you were always taking it anyway. The Pegasus is a little bit cheaper across the board. It's still not. I don't know if it's
to the Captuses.
You might see a Captain Pegasus.
I think we're more likely going to see just that Griffin.
I think you'll see the Griffin
guy because that's a lot of utility. This guy hits really hard.
The Pegasus, you can get a better armory save because it has mouse protection now. You can get a 1-up on the Pegasus still.
See, that does help.
Yeah.
Young Griffin. A couple lists.
It's good on the Knight Commander.
Yep.
Because it's only a 20-point upgrade from a horse to this.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to get a little more creative with getting good armor save because you lose that barding.
Yep.
But
you already have enough tools, I think.
Yeah, it's still great. And then the Great Griffin, I think it's solid. It taunts towards your characters and additionally towards Sunna's Fury. But that's fine. Sunna's Fury is still kind of like just those few things.
There's not a whole lot coming out of that category.
So it's not really strict. And same thing with the Dragon. The Dragon, I almost kind of could see this maybe pop up for fun.
I don't think so.
Fun
and just like fun.
I don't know. Games, because
people are gonna run dragons.
Well, because the Imperial Prince is not bad, and the Dragon got cheaper. It's like $475 for this guy.
I think the only competitive dragon I've seen has been that. Vampire Zombie Dragon.
That one is the most competitive one. Yeah,
but
that one's
other than that, I don't see much.
The elf ones
definitely not in the.
There's some elf ones that are bad.
I don't think they've ever done well though.
Yeah, I mean, they're not finishing tournaments. Yeah, sure.
So fun choice.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Prove us wrong. Prove Maxwell wrong, everybody.
Prove me wrong. I dare you.
So and then the Altar of Battle and Arcane Engines didn't really change a lot. I guess the cool thing for the Arcane Engine for the Wizard is it has mouse protection 2.
That is nice.
And you got light armor. You got a 4-up armor set.
I mean, I think he already did, didn't he?
No,
it was a 5-up before.
It was like a 5-up.
Yeah, I guess that light armor just.
Now you can even pop like something cheap on him to give him better armor save. Then we get
That's an interesting choice.
Having like a 3-up, even just against like light shooting, is really good for your big single models.
Because this was something we were throwing around early when you could actually put your Wizard on this to begin with.
Yeah.
And it just had some benefits. It's just it didn't have the save.
Before, I always thought it was really risky because I always find my Arcane Engines really targeted because it's such a great model.
Right, and so you'd also be losing.
You're putting your Wizard, which is a targeted model, and your Arcane Engine together, and they're both really. It's just to me that's too high profile.
Yeah, too many eggs in the basket.
But now that you could actually give it like a little bit more of an armor save, or you could even give it the 4-up ward save thing. You have a 4-up or something like that. That's kind of spicy, honestly.
Yeah, turns it into almost a pseudo altar.
Yeah,
battle.
I mean, it's still got 25 impact. I think I like it. And then the big thing with the Altar of Battle is they changed. You can't take barding anymore,
so you can't quite get that 1-up.
It's a little bit harder to get. I don't think you can get better than a 2-up.
I mean, a 2-up, 4-up, that's still really good.
Yeah.
It's just this model gets so expensive. It's hard to see it.
Yeah, I'm still having trouble wanting to take the Altar of Battle It might be better because also it makes your balance spells a little more threatening because now it affects multiple units still.
Yeah, I don't think they made enough good changes to this though to make it worthwhile. It was already struggling to.
I mean, because it was so popular in like 1.1.
Yeah, it was the bee's knees back in the day, but then all of a sudden,
I mean, it's still stubborn. It's still got a good save. I mean, actually, getting a 4 ward save now is pretty amazing. Just like a flat 4 up on something like that. It's pretty good.
Rare.
I could almost see it popping up. Yeah, but
I would love to use my model as the alternate battle. That'd be very cool.
I guess we'll see.
Yes.
And then actually the spells for the Arcane Engine changed. So.
Oh yeah, of course.
The big one being the Arcane Shield gets Perception of Strength from Cosmology.
Okay.
Which is amazing.
So what does this do now?
So Perception of Strength is just +1 strength, or you can cast it on your enemy unit and it's -1 strength. That's +1 strength and arm piercing, -1 strength, -1 arm piercing.
Wow, that's
really so spicy. It's a very good spell. And then Foresight gets Ice and Fire, which to me is a bad choice.
I mean, not too many people I think were taking Foresight.
That's anyways. The problem is I find the Arcane Shield was already better. They gave it a better spell, and then Foresight they gave it a worse spell. So I don't really know what they were, unless they just don't want people to take Lightning Reflexes.
Right.
But we already have Hatred, so a lot of times it's like I'd rather have Distracting and Hatred than Lightning Reflexes and Hatred.
Right.
The only time Lightning Reflexes is kind of interesting is if you're taking Imperial Guard with Grey Weapons.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know.
At that point, you're already also taking an Arcane Shield.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I have mixed feelings. I wish they would have chose something else. I almost feel like they should have chose something with Divination for Foresight. I don't know. I feel like it would have been great if they kept the +2 weapon skill, +2 initiative spell.
That was such a good spell.
Because that was a really good spell. I mean, I would say Perception of Strength is just as good as the +2.
I think that +2 is like the crux of the army in a lot of circumstances.
It was really good. It really, I remember because that spell saved my butt so many games.
Yes, absolutely.
Because if you just could get the right combination of balance spells off, you basically make like a heavy infantry unstoppable.
Impossible to budge.
Like things are hitting it on 5s, you're hitting on 3s. You're like
with hatred.
Yeah, with hatred.
Your strength 4
your strength 4 with your halberds. Yeah, it was really good.
So I think it's still going to be very good. You're definitely going to see Arcane Shield engines all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe less the Altar of Battle. We'll see. That takes a specific list. You need a lot of bodies for that.
You do. You need blocks.
2 hordes.
You need like 2 hordes basically.
Or you could run. The one spears, but it's still just a lot of 2 big, bulky units.
So looking at the
if not 3.
The main rulebook, we're just going to take a quick look at the weapon enchantments that can be put on our Empire characters. So some of these I think are really good, and some I think you're never going to see, honestly.
Yeah, there's always going to be
like the Might Titans
and losers.
I don't think you're ever going to see this one. So it's attacks made with this weapon gain +3 strength to magic attacks. And you might be thinking, +3 strength for 70 points? That's amazing.
But it doesn't have the armor penetration.
It doesn't have armor penetration. So you basically have a guy that's maybe really good at killing monsters.
Yep.
And that's about it.
Yep. Not going to help you against any characters getting through their armor.
Yeah. And we already have cannons to deal with monsters.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know. Might Titans, I don't think you're going to see Titan. Blessed Inscriptions is basically, I think, the go-to weapon enchantment that you're going to see in a lot of armies.
Can we say amazing? It
is amazing.
This is all Blessed Sword. I'm sorry.
It's the Blessed Sword rolled in with the Divine Icon.
Yeah, come on.
I guess the Blessed Sword already had Divine attacks, but they got rid of the Divine Icon as a thing.
Right.
So
this is just going to be a
now
really
this is the only way to get Divine attacks, and also Aegis saves have gone down.
Right.
So
now people are rolling on 5-ups versus 4-ups a lot of the time.
So it's even just even
lucky 5-up.
Yeah.
Reroll that.
Yeah. So and then the best thing is you can put this on a great weapon now.
Yeah, just because it's a melee weapon enchantment. Yeah. So it's you.
So actually, I made a build with a Knight Commander on just a horse. He had a great weapon. I think he had a 1-up 4 regen or something like that, and I think he had the barding thing too.
So he has strength 6, rerolling his failed 2 wounds, and with divine attacks.
And divine attacks. The only thing is he's striking less. That's the only bad thing about him, I guess. But he's also really survivable. So
yeah, I mean, so do you really need it? I mean,
Yeah.
You're strength 6, right? At that point.
Yeah.
Yep. Very good.
So the Kingslayer, I think, is also interesting now because it's also a melee weapon enchantment.
I kind of always like this weapon.
I've always loved this item. I think the problem is
You can just put it on the crate.
sometimes you're going to see less characters are usually grouped together.
Right.
Like you might see at most 2 characters a unit. If not, unless you're playing Empire, you might see like 3 or something like that.
Right. Yeah, that's.
But even just facing the one character, that's something like this on a gray weapon
+2/+2/+2
is really good actually. Just for that extra attack, extra strength bump.
Yep.
So yeah, for 60 points, the Kingslayer is, I'd say, a decent choice. The Razor Edge got changed. Or I guess the big difference now is it's also melee weapon enchantment. So again, you can put on whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really wanted to put on a gray weapon, you could. So you could still maybe wound stuff.
So this is the old Obsidian blade.
Exactly. The old 71 was a hand weapon.
Yep.
So you're capped at your strength.
Yep.
It's still AP 6.
Never wound better.
But you can never win a Iron 3 up. So I think it has some. I think you could still see it. Because I mean, even like, even like somebody did this against a steam tank. They had like a gray weapon. That'd be rough.
Yeah, that would.
You're not wounding.
Very nice.
You're not wounding better on. You're wounding on floors anyway. So yeah. I think maybe some things that are like still kind of like T5, like T5 characters, like this is still great for if you're strength 6 because you're only wounding on 3 up anyway. So it's only maybe against like Empire Knights where you're like, oh man, I'm strength 6 or 3/4. I could have wounded on a 2.
Yeah,
and you're losing out a little bit, but I think you're seeing those. So the Hero's Blade is the only one that has actual kind of weapons to go with. It's either hand weapon or paired weapon enchantments.
They gotta choose.
But this is still decent. I think it's better now because you get +1 attack value, and you have always at least strength 5 and AP 3 penetration. So really now you can change your strength.
Yep. So it gives you,
So it's good on orcs now.
At least penetration 3.
No, like honestly, this is great on a BSP for Empire. Actually, I think I had a BSP on a horse with this and the Barding enchantment, and he was just capped out at 100 points. And the nice thing too is you can throw perception of strength on that guy.
+1 attack, strength 5, AP 3. Yeah. That's solid for 50 points. It really helps out those more middling characters.
And honestly, if you have a thing that can take paired weapons, get like that extra attack, I think that could be even pretty good too.
And because what do paired weapons do now?
Paired weapons. We'll look at the weapon. We'll show you the picture for what they did to the weapons now. So paired weapons are +1 attack.
Yep.
+1 offensive skill.
Yep.
No initiative anymore.
But it also.
But you ignore parry. So paired weapons I think they're still going to be good. I think people are going to be really sad to see the initiative go.
Yeah, that was.
Because I know,
nice
like low initiative armies were like in love with it. Or even armies that were like Inish 3, because then you got to be above like all your Inish 3 friends.
Man-eaters are hurting with that change.
Yeah, man-eaters are gonna be ogres are gonna be so sad.
Yeah, actually, the whole book.
The whole
of course,
ogre army.
Iron Fist too.
To me, Iron Fists were OP as it was.
They were, and that's
there was a problem. There was a problem when you're taking an Iron Fist over any other mundane choice in your book.
Yeah,
if all your units are taking Iron Fists, why have different options for them?
Exactly.
The whole army might as well just be armed with the Iron Fist.
Yeah, that was a gross addition to the book. So that's going to really hurt them.
They'll live.
But anyways, I'm sure they have.
And maybe it'll just
it
might just make Yetis and the Frost Mammoth more attractive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because they had those on top of everything, so it was like that was such a swingy initiative army. I mean,
I remember hearing one battle report where Swordmasters got charged by man-eaters.
Yep.
Or no, I think they charged into man-eaters, but there was a frost giant nearby.
Okay.
And the man-eaters went first.
Yep. Sounds about right.
It's so bad.
It's -1 or -2.
It's -3. Oh, they might have went Simo then.
And if there's a character,
but they might have had they might have had the Yeti for in the character unit too. So they could have gone. They could have gone after the man units, which is just funny.
Yeah,
elves going after ogres. What? So the Hero's Blade I think is interesting. I think it's good for Empire too. I think you'll see it on. I think you could probably put it on your marshals.
Yeah.
Again. I guess that's what we really want to look at when we're looking at these. What's going to be good for Empire?
Mhm.
Like, I think Blessed Inscription as a Knight Commander is going to be really cool. I think even the Kingslayer in the Knight Commander could be kind of cool with some of the different options, like a Grey Weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be really good. I could see the Razor Blade or Razor Edge being on the Knight Commander too with some things. Maybe even just a Lance, maybe? I don't know.
I think the big winners that you're actually going to see are going to be like Blessed Inscriptions.
Oh, you're going to see Blessed Inscriptions.
Kingslayer.
Any of your main melee characters are going to take Blessed Inscriptions.
I don't think we're going to see Razor Edge, but Hero's Blade, that definitely has some potential.
Well, this is an interesting one. The Blade of Power is you get +1 strength, +1 armor penetration, and magical attacks. Strength modifiers from this weapon combining with both the mundane and the weapon enchantment cannot exceed +2, but can exceed +2 through modifiers from a sorcery spell. So this on like a halberd on a Knight Commander is kind of spicy.
So it gives him that extra strength.
You're
So
still like strength 6,
right?
You're still like strength 6,
And
but
gives
now
you some
you're like
magic
you still got your niche 6, charging in your niche 7. I think that's kind of spicy actually, and it's not too expensive.
You're saying on the halberd?
Yeah,
Strength 7? What?
or strength 6. I'm saying niche 7 if you're charging.
Oh, and niche 7. Yes.
Or sorry, agility 7.
Ha ha. Yeah. So Blade of Power. I mean, that's a nice little thing.
Yeah, I can see it some different places.
+1 strength, +1 AP, and
Yeah.
and
This is actually really good on orcs, like an orc with paired weapons or something like that.
oh, okay.
Because then you'd be always strength 6, strength 7 in the first round of combat.
Yeah. Nice.
That could even be decent with your Overlord too in some combinations of it.
Maybe. There's other better choices, I think.
Yeah, I mean you do have some new stuff, spicy weapons.
Yeah.
So and then you also have supernatural dexterity. This I don't think you'll see this so much.
+2 offensive skill, +2 agility,
And magical attacks.
and magic attacks. Yeah.
Too expensive. I'm sorry.
Definitely
45
not-
points is
Not
too
on an
expensive for
Empire
this.
guy. You could see this on
Yeah,
like
maybe an orc or an ogre.
where that agility is really going to come.
Where that
into play.
agility could be spicy and like, I mean, on an Iron Orc, like him being like offensive 9 is kind of cool. That puts him over a lot of characters.
Yeah, really, it's just the big baddies that you got to deal with, like the
Yeah.
Empires and demons.
Yeah,
So
but
definitely an option. And
Yeah.
of course, Warriors of the Dark Gods.
yes, and then you've got Lightbringer, which is just flaming attacks and magical attacks, and then you can turn it off and on.
Yeah.
20 points. I think this one also needs to be like
Keeps those
10.
trolls in
I
check.
think that one's 10 too or something like that. I think the last two. I think all the other ones are well priced, except the Might of the Titans. I feel like it should have been 80 points,
And
and it
actually give you some.
and it was just +2 strength, +2 armor piercing.
Yeah.
I think it should have just been that. I don't know. I think they should just bit the bullet.
Start of each round of combat. Yeah, just give them.
Because the 20 points is still kind of expensive for that, I feel like.
And flaming attacks doesn't do as much as it used to.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, moving on with the armor enchantments. So again, some of these are really interesting for Empire. Like, the Living Plates is interesting. So it's a suit of armor enchantment, which means you can take it on anything. You can put it on plate armor, put it on light armor. It's a 4 pre-jump plus an armor.
Yeah.
So even on a Knight Commander, on a horse, he's got a 1-up with 4-up, and he doesn't have to shield.
Yep.
The Blessed Armor is also... it's not that great because it's you get a 4-up ward save, but then your armor is capped at 3. So you can only have a 4-up 4-up at the side.
If this was on something big, that'd be really cool. But
It's
it's
standard size models only.
So that could be a mounted horse.
It could be a horse too. Like you could put it on a wizard with horse.
But I don't
Yeah.
think you want to do it.
You could see it every now and then, but if you really wanted to run a solo wizard on a horse, maybe. But I don't think you'll see it a ton.
Right.
And the Mithril Mail is kind of just as good as it's always been. It's a suit of armor enchantment, so it's still not really that good for Empire though.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times you already have plate armor, so they're only getting +2 armor save. I guess it's okay maybe on a Inquisitor.
Yep.
Because he starts out with heavier. It's okay on a Wizard actually, because he's got light armor.
Kind of pumps it up.
It's kind
Well,
of
it says so to a maximum of 5.
yes. So you're capped at a 2-up armor save.
I kept it to it. Okay. Yeah, not too terrible.
The Dusk Shield is interesting because it's a shield enchantment.
Yeah, so instead of it being that, what was it before, an enchanted
It
item?
was an art.
I think it was enchanted.
It was an enchant. No, it was a talisman.
Oh, yes.
It was the Dust Stone. So now it's a shield. I think it cheapened up a little bit. It's 50 points now.
Does the same thing though.
Does the same thing. But I guess the better thing now is you can choose to reroll, and if you do have an Aegis, you can choose to take the Aegis or regen save. So if you did, like, say you had him in a unit, however somehow you have. Actually, this is easy. You have this dust shield, and you have the black steel on your BSB Marshal.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a 1-up armor save with the shield, and he's rerolling his armor saves.
Yep.
You've also got a prelate in the unit.
Yep.
He casts a 5-up ward save. You get hit by lethal strike.
Yep.
Now you can still take that ward save. Where before, I'm pretty sure the dust stone didn't let you take saves.
No, you got to choose before.
You did get to choose?
Yeah, this hasn't changed.
So I guess it has to change. I'm talking too much about it. So yeah, it's solid. I think you could see it in a couple places.
Yeah.
For Empire, it's still good because we can still get 1-ups really easily, and we can get 1-ups with shields easily too. So the lead scale mail
gains +2 armor, cannot be used against magic attacks. I don't think we're ever going to use this.
I don't think so.
45 points. That might be the breaker or the kicker.
I kind of liked it at first because it's heavier in plate armor, so I thought it'd be good for Empire. But I'm finding there are a lot of magical attacks all over the place whenever people get magic cast on them. So I find that it's just bad on characters.
Not going to be very useful.
Because either they're going to fight other characters who have magical attacks, or if you're relying on their armor save, and then somehow an enemy unit gets a magic spell cast on them, they have magical attacks. Now his armor save is worse.
Yep.
To me, overall, I thought the Dragon Mantle was a great item in 1.3.
Yeah.
Because the only difference between that and this base, because they're almost like the same item, is this can be taken with Cavalry.
Yeah, so it can be...
Because I actually took this on a game where I had this on a Great Griffin, and he had a 1-up armor save.
Yep.
Which is kind of interesting.
So it helps protect him against a lot of the shooting. There's not too much...
Yeah, it's good against mundane shooting. It's just when you got to worry about, because if he got shot by the sisters, whatever, from Hybrid Elves, I'm pretty sure they have magical attacks, and he'd only have like a 4-up armor save.
Yeah, he'd get messed up.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's I want to like this item, but I just don't think you're going to see it a lot.
Just in Empire in particular.
In Empire, I don't think you'll see it a lot in general. I think this is going to be one of those loser items, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So the Basalt Plates was like the old Dragon Home. It's a suit of armor enchantment, which is different. It's just on your armor.
You can use this and
you can use that in a shield, which is cool. You get +1 armor save and fireproof, so that's fine still.
Yep, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, the Oakwood Pavis. Yeah, I've been having such a hard time saying this one. This is an interesting one. This is kind of cool because you can put this on your. There's kind of a fun build for your Imperial Prince on foot, or like a Marshal on foot with this too.
Well, this just makes your character capable of soaking up impact hits.
Yes,
chariot characters.
So the nice thing is it's a shield enchantment. You can't use parry, which is whatever, but you get +1 armor save.
Yep.
And then impact hits have AP 0.
Yep.
So if you get a challenge against a chariot character, you're like, whatever. I got a 1-up armor save against your impact hits.
With this whole update, they were already like, all right, let's really nerf the heck out of chariot characters.
Let's just say the chariot lords.
This is just one more
they got knocked off their pedestal.
Yeah,
it's rough for them. Because I think the Iron Orc one is okay still. I think you can still get a good armor save really easily. I know the Beast Herds one is goodbye to the Beast Lord. You can't get a 1-up on him anymore. I think you can only get a 1-up. You can't get a ward with him anymore. It's
got to make some tough choices.
Yeah, it's tough.
You don't have to reroll your wounds against him anymore. Oh
yeah.
They're not the impossible characters they were.
Yeah, they're not OP.
So this is a nice little touch.
It's only 15 points.
15
points is pretty
additional armor.
And then the Hardened Metal, I have a hard time liking this one too. Because it's +1 armor, but then you suffer -2 offensive skill.
So
my problem is it's I want to put this on the guy with the Sonnstahl, but then he's weapon skill 3 or 4.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. No, I think.
It's okay if you have a hatred source like a prelate nearby, but then I feel you just got to stack a lot of characters in units.
And then Kingslayer.
And then the Kingslayer comes by. Yeah. So I don't. It's not terrible. I think you'll see it a little bit in the Empire army. Yeah. So the banner enchantments, there's also this is the big thing that they did with the Empire Army, is it's 0 to 3 banner enchantments pretty much across the board for the ones in the rulebook.
Yeah.
And in other armies you'll see this too. So the Rending Banner got a little more expensive, but it's 0 to 3, so that's interesting. The banner speed unfortunately also got more expensive, so it knocked it's all none of your core units can take it anymore.
Unless you're high health.
Yes. Well, the sad thing for Empire is you can't take it on your Cav. Yeah, which I think is really sad because I feel like the Cav could really like the +1 armor. I guess the problem is maybe they were maybe worried. I mean, not like they obviously they didn't update this for just Empire alone. They probably didn't want any core units to have it.
Right.
But the sad thing for Empire is that +1 movement was really good for them.
Right.
And then
because you already have the orders.
And then the cool thing with the orders that would have been really great because then you'd have like movement 9 Cavalry or something.
Oh, you're thinking yeah. Yep.
Well, yeah, movement 6 infantry would have been crazy too, but movement 9 Cavalry would have been awesome.
Yeah,
like that would have been really good. But now we can't do that. Well, no, you can't do that. You only be able to do it with your BSP. Yep, good point. So I guess it's not impossible, but I don't think you'll see it a ton.
We'll see.
Yeah. The Stalker standard is really good for Empire though. Now. It's 0 to 3, and then it's only 50 points now. So they took the Swiss right out of it, which I actually liked because I found a lot of times that I had like a lot of units. I wanted the Stalker part. Well, Stalker is like or the Strider part. The Strider is you just ignore dangerous terrain test.
I can't even tell you how many times I got annoyed with you in our last combat. Or our last battle that we played.
I know, right?
Because it was just like, oh, yeah. DT test, and you were just like,
no, I'm Stalker
standard.
Yeah, I'm Strider, baby. So this on Empire Knights is going to be really spicy, though. Because you can
spreading it around.
Well, like, I mean, you can put it on, like, your Knights of Sun Griffin. I think it'll be great there. It'll be good on just your core Knights. Like, yeah, that's a really good Empire for standard. The banner of discipline is interesting. So, basically, you reroll failed panic tests and decimated tests. We're not going to talk about decimated tests. And then if your BSB or a general is in that unit, you automatically pass the test.
I mean, that's nice. I mean, just
it's
the
not
less
better,
rolls
right?
you have to make, the better.
Yeah.
It is 45 points.
It's expensive.
So, yeah, I mean, you can put it on your fringe guys where, you're not going to have...
Yeah, I could see you putting this on Knights of the Sun Griffin.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times those guys are on the flank, so that'll be nice. The Aether Icon, I do not think you'll see this in play.
Magic Res, I think, just took too big of a hit. I don't like how it works now. I guess, to be frank.
No, I'll be honest, too. I don't think it's strong enough.
Yeah. Because it doesn't stack either, right? It's not like if you have multiple banners with Magic Resist 1.
Does.
I don't know. Either way...
It would make more sense if it's stacked now. Because it's just an initial -1 every time, where before it was like a better word save.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think you'll see this taking too much. The banner of the Relentless Company is now 0 to 3 2, so that's really cool.
Yep.
That's still great for Empire because that really makes us march really
more
far.
Things having better movement.
Yeah. The Fire Banner is also 0 to 3. It's only 1 use only, which is a little bit rough. The good thing though is it lasts until your enemy is no longer engaged in combat. So you could
it will still have duration.
You could ride it out through a long combat,
right? But it is only that one engagement.
Yeah, it's only one engagement. And then the standard formation is interesting too because you get +1 to your rank bonus.
Yeah, I mean, so just more ways to.
So if you're running like spears, that's kind of cool.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Actually. Although you're already having
spears. If you're running deep spears,
right? But you're already running that other banner. Right?
Which one?
The agility. Losing the agility on track.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. I can see you going wide with your spears, too. Yeah.
Interesting.
You can probably do both, honestly.
Interesting options.
Yeah. The Mantle World you're talking about. And then, you know what? There's so many charms that I just don't even want to go over all of them. Some are good for Empire. I think it'll be kind of obvious what's going to be good and what's going to be kind of meh. Like there's the Talisman of Greater Shielding, so good. So just 5 ward save. You'll see that. You'll put that on your Knight Commanders. There's a couple like arcane items that are decent for your wizards. Yeah, so I think I think it's gonna be kind of obvious what's gonna be good from the trinkets or the charms or the artifacts, whatever name they land on.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the Empire and let's really start digging into the main units. I think this is where we're probably gonna be able to start speeding up because the characters really took a lot of looking at because the way they changed weapon and armor enchantments was huge. The small tweaks they did to the rest of the rulebook are all great, but don't really require too much loading. So, yeah, the first thing is heavy infantry. The biggest change to them is the points they did for the spear and the halberd. So the great thing now is they're the same cost.
Yeah, so you just retain
because honestly,
your shield too, right?
And you retain your shield for both.
For free.
For free.
That's awesome.
You just can't use your shield in combat with the halberd because that's still the thing. Oh, and we should also talk about how good spears are now.
Yes. So spears.
What spears do now is they give you +1 AP.
They still have that +1 AP.
Yes.
But
if you're charged
they
by
give you a huge bonus.
anything in the game, not matter if it's Cavalry or whatever. If you're charged, you gain +2 agility and +1 AP.
Yeah.
So now you go up to like AP2 and you have
what is this? Inish.
You're Nish 5 if you get charged.
Or agility 5.
Agility 5, yeah. So that's pretty spicy.
That's pretty awesome.
And then if you're running like the distracting card, you can give them +1 strength, so you're strength 4, AP 3.
Spears I think are probably going to be the biggest.
Spears are going to be really great. I don't think halberds are bad. I think they're still good.
I think you run one of each.
I almost think you're going to see one of each. Or even detachments of halberds are great now.
Yeah, that's kind of really the thing doing this multiple.
I think you're going to see a lot more. I think you're going to see a lot more big blocks with small blocks supporting. I think the parent and spore unit has the power to work in 2.0.
I know how you were playing like your Imperial Guard, big block, those guys with smaller.
With small ones, I think you're going to see it a lot more because I think it's actually really good now. With halberds or spears. Like I know I've been running small blocks of 20 guys with halberds and spears. I've been just loving them. Like they're just good.
Great for
they're cheap. They're so cheap. Like with full command, you're topping out like 230 points. It's nothing. That's a fraction of your core.
Easy to throw away if you need to.
So I really like the shapes of heavy infantry. It's not like we weren't taking them. You're gonna still want to take them.
Yeah.
The other big thing is they got rid of the veteran standard.
Right. So you just may take a banner enchantment up to 50 on multiple units.
No, you're gonna see. I think you're just gonna see a lot of enchantments now. Or before it was like, what the heck do I want to take on anything?
Right.
Right. It was like, oh, maybe I'll take a gleaming icon on these Cavalry. Maybe I'll do this, or maybe I'll do that. Now you're gonna see a lot more banner enchantments. And then this is the other big change to core is the light infantry. They got fractionally cheaper. Their starting cost went down by 5 points. Their model price went down by 1 point. But they're just better now because they can get accurate.
And they can get banners.
And they can get the banner enchantment too. Yep. Where they could take a veteran standard before.
Right, but it was only going to be the one.
It was only one, and then
you're not going to put on light infantry.
Nobody was even taking light infantry.
Right.
1.3. So I think at 2.0, you're definitely going to see light infantry because they're just good. They don't count. The nice thing is they only count towards your shooting cap in the game, and the army, you're not towards like your Imperial armory, your war machines. So that's great. Honestly, light infantry are wonderful.
Yep. We didn't start seeing that.
State militia took a hit.
Right. Because now they just don't have the movement that they used to.
Well, the big thing, they lost their support unit status.
Yep.
Which is probably fair because it almost makes more sense. They're untrained.
Yeah, they're the rabble that's just,
Yeah.
with your
I think they're still takeable. They got a little bit cheaper because they lost support unit. I think they could have been a little bit more cheaper. But they're still decent. I mean, they're like your 10 unit of pistols is still decent.
Yep.
It's just a little bit slower, so you're not going to get as many shots off in the game.
Yep. You also can't give them the extra range.
And you can't get as closer as the range was really good. The range was actually really good for the pistols.
18-inch range on pistols is pretty gross.
That's great, yeah. Honestly, militia probably ate up so many orders. That was probably the problem. Militia were almost getting all the orders back in 1.3. So that's
which is something I really missed out on. I wish I had taken advantage of that a little bit more. But
yeah,
that's okay.
yeah. So otherwise, they didn't really change stat wise or anything. They just lost a 4 unit. So I think I don't know. You might still see them, but I think you're going to see a little bit less militia in games.
Yep.
You're not going to see like the list where it's like, oh, my entire corps is pistol or like plus pistol militia. You know, I took 4 units of pistol militia and 1 unit of cavalry.
Yep.
That's my corps. You know, you're not going to see a list like that. But I think you can still see the units of like 10 pistols walking around.
Mm-hmm.
I think those guys are still good. Electoral cavalry, they also received a big change. So the first 2 things was they stayed. They're all the still same amount of points. So yeah, the biggest change to the electoral cav is they have the cavalry pick now.
Yep.
Instead of great weapons. So they lost the ability to take great weapons as a unit.
I didn't personally ever take great weapons.
I kind of liked them. I kind of also like just having a 1-up armor save with a lance.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little more interesting with your knightly orders, because the other big thing is they got rid of the special unit of knightly orders. They just deleted that unit from the book because honestly, it was just Knights of Sun Griffin way too competitive against them.
Yeah.
So they just dropped them and they kind of have merged the 2 units together.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part about them now is you do not need to upgrade all your knights to knightly order if you take a knight commander.
Gosh, that was probably the biggest like defining choice.
Yeah.
With your list.
I think everyone was kind of like they didn't worry about it, and then they kind of realized, oh man, with this Imperial Prince, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Everything's cheaper with like, ooh, if I just run this Imperial Prince, they still got a Sonnstahl.
Yep.
So yeah,
it's different.
I think the Knight Commander's got a better place in the army now.
Mm-hmm.
His Knights are a little bit better because they're a little more flexible. And again, their points didn't change. They actually, I don't know why, they had the shield merged in the profile and then they deleted it. I don't know why. Because with both the pick and the lance, you both use the shield, so you're always going to take a shield. So I don't know why they didn't just leave the shield in there and keep them. So whatever. I'm
sure they'll probably
point wise, they're still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely still worth it.
Yeah. So
whether for small units and scoring troops, or if you're going to run a big unit with your character.
I think the big unit with the character could be interesting. The small 5 packs of scoring are still going to be taken. Because there's only one scenario they're bad in, and that's the Gold Diggers.
Yep.
So Imperial Guard have only received a small change. Their great weapons got dropped by 1 point, which is good because I think the sword and board is really good. So I think having the great weapon being 1 point less will be good because I want to take my great weapon ones, but I love the sword and board so much.
Yeah.
I know you've run the sword. I know you've run the great weapons a lot.
I do like the great weapons just because I like the models I have, but I think sword and board are probably.
That's my problem too. I feel like sword and board are for the points better. Your 3 armor save is just spicy, and it like strength 4 AP 1. But even strength 6 AP 3 is so good still for Empire because we don't have that much high strength stuff.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see if you can take it. Yeah.
It's a nice tool to have.
Yeah. Honestly, you can still the Arcane Shield's still good on that unit too.
Mm-hmm.
Still giving them distracting. And obviously, it's not as good as parry.
Right.
But even still, -1 to hit on a unit like this is great. So I don't know. Imperial Guard are still really solid. Knights of the Sun Griffin also did not receive any changes other than the cosmetic, changes to update them to 2.0.
Yep.
They're
still good.
Still great. Yeah. Knightly orders just dropped in the book, as we mentioned earlier. One of the big changes. This was also one of the units I think that the EOS Army Book Committee really wanted to change is the Imperial Rangers. So they got cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Point wise, they got a lot cheaper. They used to be like 70 points. Starting costs, I think they're 10 points cheaper, which I almost could have seen and be like 80, but I'm not going to be too worried about that. So they're still scouting. They still have skirmish, and they have a new rule called Frontiersman, which is they automatically pass all panic tests caused by terror.
Which just can't be panicked away by monsters.
It's a great rule. They're great chaff now. I think they're probably the best chaff in the Empire.
Yeah, 90 points. You get
now because you could be closer. You can get closer now.
Mm-hmm.
And now they can't be panicked by monsters. So I really actually kind of like their ability to do this. And then they also they used to just have 2 shots with their bow.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have 1 shot. They get that second shot back whenever they shoot against something that's a beast. So monsters, Cavalry. I also get lethal strike too against beasts. So it's interesting. I kind of like it.
Little change. I think overall they probably got a little worse with their offensive capability, but them getting that terror immunity.
I actually think for the point decreased and the beast hunter rule, I think they're perfectly good. I think they're perfectly takeable.
I think that's fair. You take.
I love that. I love that they passed the terror test too. I think that's so good.
That's the only way, or that's one of the biggest negatives of like those chaff units.
Yeah, I mean these guys almost all Empire chaff too is like only like leadership 7, so it's hard for them to take a charge from like terror.
Right.
But now,
not even worried about it.
These 5 guys holding up like a rock for a turn is awesome. And maybe even getting a shot to like do lethal strike against it too is pretty cool. So
spicy.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Imperial Rangers are great. Riders, the only change they did is
they kind of capped
they maxed 20 models per army, which is fair because they're just as good as they've always been. I think you're going to see. Well, I think you're going to see these more because you're going to see more shooting in Empire armies.
Mm-hmm.
So riders are great. I think you're going to see more riders too now.
Yeah, I've always been.
Artillery. This is a huge change.
Spicy choices here.
0-4 units per army. Now you can take 4 war machines.
Kind of gross.
So good. So, but all the different war machines are capped at 0-2 now.
Right. So you're only getting 2 of each.
Yeah. Like I know people were taking 3 mortars, which was kind of crazy.
3 mortars was really good.
Yeah.
So they got to put it back to 2.
Which is fair.
Mortar is still an awesome choice.
Only 200 points still. I almost feel like mortars could have got more expensive.
Yep.
But I'm not complaining.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, everything stayed the same except for
the Imperial Rocketeers, which we're going to talk about because this is also one of the things that the rules team wanted to change for Empire, and now they are spicy.
Yeah.
So the way this weapon works is a catapult 1 artillery weapon. So you only hit something once, but
you have 3 shots.
You have 3 shots with this. It's range 15 to 48, which is good.
Yep.
Obviously, if things get too close, you can't shoot them, which is
going to hit most anything, though.
Yeah, you're going to hit things. At 24 inches short range, that's really good, too. Actually, I think they bumped up that minimum range. I don't remember it being 15. 15 is kind of far out, yeah. But the best thing about this thing is it's strength 5, AP 3 still, and all the wounds D3. Yep. So this thing is kind of like a monster killer. It's a character killer. It's good against Marshal Cavalry, monster infantry, anything that has multiple wounds. This thing is great now against because it just has 3 shots, and it's not like restricted to how many ranks something has. Because that was the worst. That was the problem with the Catapult 2 version of this one. It was the best thing. It was the best target for that weapon back in 1.3 was probably literally like the little 4 packs of bombardiers.
Yeah.
That was probably like its best target.
Yeah, because it wouldn't even be good against like bruiser darts or something.
No, because bruiser darts you only hit 2. Probably the best thing was like the little blocks of 4 bombardiers that ogres are running.
Yep.
Or I guess trolls, but I mean whatever. How many people are running that many trolls?
Well, especially since it doesn't have flaming attacks anymore.
But the nice thing is it lost flaming attacks, which I'm actually okay with because I play against Maxwell, who's ID all the time. And now I can actually hurt his Kadim incarnates. So I'm okay with that. I would rather be able to hurt more things in the book than just be better against things with regen.
Sure.
So,
I mean, it's only like the Kadim incarnates that would affect them.
Yeah.
And how many of those are there?
Yeah, that's true. Well, no, I mean, characters with Fireborn too.
But you're not hitting a single character.
Well, now you can, though. That's the thing is now you can.
Now you can.
Like, I would shoot this at like a hybrid off like line chariot or something like that.
Oh, for sure.
This would be good against that guy.
All day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where before, like, a lot of times those guys had, like, Fireborn and stuff like that. A lot of times they just had the Dragon Helm or whatever. It's really good. Yeah, so, I really like this Imperial Rocketeers. And it's 180 points.
Like, so cheap.
So cheap. So, yeah. The rockets are spicy. All war machines are great now. You're going to see a lot of war machines in Empire. So Absolutely. Get ready for the pain. So we talked about the Arcane Engine before. It didn't really change except for the spells.
Yep.
So we're not going to really go
Still
over the
good.
unit profile.
Already
It's
touched it.
still great. Flagellants received a huge change because of the rules changed.
They lost their flails as well.
Yes, they lost flails as well, which actually doesn't really affect them too much. Yeah, it doesn't really affect them. A little bit, I guess. So they're still unbreakable, they still have frenzy, they still have fanatical, and they're still zealots.
Mm-hmm.
So the change to frenzy is huge.
Yeah, big changes.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go over it too much, but basically it doesn't make you like immune to psychology anymore or anything like that, but it changes your discipline depending on what tests you need to take. So if you're taking a fear test with a frenzy unit, you get plus 2 discipline.
You're going to be better at passing it.
And like you also like a break test, you get plus 2 discipline, which doesn't matter for the Flagellants because they're unbreakable. But if you're taking like a march block test, you get minus 2 discipline.
Or if it's an overrun.
Or if it's an overrun, it's minus 2 as well. So yeah, frenzy is interesting.
It gets rid of the absolutes, but still skews things.
Yeah, still skews it towards the things it wants its units. So the other thing about Flagellants is now they're defensive 1, which is okay because they should probably be hit really well. Most of the time they want to die anyway.
This is kind of how they changed with the flails. So they still made them easier to hit.
Yes.
Essentially giving them that +1, but then they just gave them great weapons instead.
Well, so they now they have great weapons, and they only have 1 attack. That's the other big change now, is they only have 1 attack. Because they used to have 2 attacks with frenzy, but now they only have 1 attack.
I don't know. I personally don't see these guys being used so much.
Yeah.
Unless it's just, the small 10-man units.
Because the other problem is, like, their size went up, too.
Oh, actually, yeah, I just missed that.
There are 15 models instead of 10. So, I don't know. Like, I want to like Flagellants, but I think this is almost supporting a bigger block. Like with a prelate now.
Yeah, this is interesting. Melee attack, too. Does that count for, special attacks?
What do you mean special attacks?
Like, thunder stomps, impact hits, stuff like that. Is that considered a melee attack?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm pretty sure any attack. Well, it doesn't matter because thunder stomps are initial 0. So
I'm thinking, I guess, more impact hits then.
Yeah, it's still,
so it would still be a melee attack.
And
okay.
They still die in initial 0, which makes sense because they have great weapons anyway, so they're striking this 0, they die in this 0, so that all still kind of works together.
I guess
and then they have
redeem them. Yeah,
and then they have battle focus, so they can get the extra hits now.
So overall, I think it seems to be like they're in the same-ish.
I think they got that a little bit cheaper starting cost with the 15 now.
Yeah, you just have to take 15.
Yeah, I think you could see bigger units in play because the bigger units in play could be like really fun with like a prelate.
It really just depends on how the frenzy rules work out now. Because with them now having to do their frenzy checks to, restrain charging something at a -2, I think that's probably the biggest.
And that's the other thing is that you're gonna want you almost want a character in there then. I think you could see I think a prelate combination of these could become relevant.
Because before you could somewhat control your battle line by, having that leader 9 near them and stopping that with the BSB.
Yeah.
But now you're rolling at a leader 7 at best. Typically.
Yeah. So that's rough. It's rough.
With the BSB. So to try to restrain that charge, that initial charge. So that I think really hurts Frenzy the most.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't think Flagellants are out of the game, but I think they're like the little 10 packs that were so good in 1.3.
I think can't even have those.
Are not a thing anymore, and it's a little sad to see those go because those 106 points those were really good.
And I was starting to collect some mad amount of Flagellants. I was gonna have fun with those, but.
Yeah. So again, I think I think we'll see maybe big units of them. Like big units of 30 could be kind of scary because that big unit of 30 is probably pretty cheap. 230 times another 180, another 5 times.
I mean, you're just removing. You're really just
Yeah.
removing the agility from the equation.
Yes.
So
You always
elves
get your
lose
attacks.
a lot of their bite at that point.
Yeah.
And just how many points are they per model?
18.
Yeah, 18. Yeah,
It's not bad.
it's okay.
So yeah, I think Flagellants are okay. But this is really spicy.
Yeah. So Steam Tank is next. I think we kind of foreshadowed this a little bit.
I love the Steam Tank now.
Big changes to this guy, just because I think probably the biggest change was losing that stupid chart. where you're losing wounds, and then you're also losing.
The chart was awful. The chart was the worst thing about it. Now they just got rid of the chart,
made it much more effective,
made it much more streamlined. It's
nothing else in the game had that feature. So
no, I know, which was so stupid. And the worst part too was like EOS has that feature too.
Right.
So it was bad.
Silly.
It was just a bad thing to have. But the Steam Tank's great. So it's a little bit slower, unfortunately. It's only 43
versus what was it before? 3d6.
3d6 possibly. Yeah.
So it's probably more consistent.
Yes. But you're not going to get like those crazy like 18-inch charges or something like that. The cool thing though is I like how they separated the chassis, which is I guess what do you want to maybe call it, the main body of the Steam Tank, with like its impact hits. Chassis. Sorry. So its impact hits are at strength 7 AP 4. Its normal grinding attacks are at strength 2 AP 2. So and they're at agility 3. Wow, I didn't even notice that now you're just agility 3. Agility 4 in charge.
That's pretty awesome.
That's awesome, actually. Damn, that's good, baby. Yeah. This is even better than I thought it was. I literally have no problems with it. Like, yeah, I love how your impact hits have a place now. Because my problem... and it's 2d3 impact hits, too. That's not bad either. That's like
3d3 grind or
2d3 impact hits. That's great. I almost like that better than the d6, because now you're almost always guaranteed 2.
Yeah.
Averaging 4-ish.
Whenever you can get more consistency in the game, that's just
always
going to be an improvement.
Well, because the problem before was I hated how you never wanted to really use the impact hits.
Because your grinds were so much more
Because the grinds were more consistent, and, I mean, if you didn't take any wounds, just flat out better.
Yeah.
Now, strength 7 impact hits are really good.
Yeah.
Now you have a reason to choose impact hits over grind attacks. This is honestly how things that have grind attacks and impact hits, this should be like a universal thing almost. Like, you should have reasons to want to choose impact over grind attacks.
I guess the most comparable thing will be the Infernal Engine for the...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we'll see what that...
Yeah, we'll see what they do with that.
Hopefully it's something similar.
Yeah.
That would be very cool.
Yeah. And then the nice thing is that they actually played this wrong one game, but they have a nice rule called Steam Powered. You don't have to move if you don't want to, because you're random movement. I did that in a game against Maxwell. I was like, I thought I had to move forward. I moved too far. I got charged. And I lost it by like turn 2. Now, if you want to hang back, you can. So that's great.
So this sets it apart from
other random movement things.
I guess. What's the other random moves in the game that are that
like
tough?
Pump Wagon,
Pump Wagon, and
yeah.
The cart, or what's that? Doom Wheel.
Doom Wheel, yeah, that's all. Yeah, all random movement. So that's a great rule for the Steam Tank to have because it has a cannon. The cannon's still good.
Yep.
36, strength 7, 86.
I know. I'm definitely gonna be trying this guy out.
Yeah. I love the Steam Tank. I'm almost kind of sad. I mean, it was 0 to 1, but I wish you could take 2. So, that pretty much does it for our EOS review.
Is that it already? My goodness. We went through that pretty quick.
Yeah, well, again, there's only really good changes to talk about, I think.
Yeah, I don't see too many negatives. I think the biggest is like Flagellants seem like
Yeah,
but they were already kind of
a little bit worried about because just, they're just... I can see your concern. Because, it's like you have to take more models now. It's a bigger tar pit, of 15 models. But obviously Frenzy is harder to play with. Frenzy is going to be a tough role for a lot of people.
We'll see how it develops here. I think there's a lot of good changes.
Yeah, but definitely in Empire you're going to see a lot more shooting.
Going to see a lot of spears.
You're going to see a lot of spears.
And you're going to see a lot of battle focus.
Yes.
Floating around.
Because that Death Warrant is one of the best items.
I think that's probably the most...
I mean, my Marshal build for pretty much all playtesting has always been a Marshal with the Black Steel and the Death Warrant. He's got a 1-up armor save, and he's got battle focus and gives a unit battle focus.
That's I
what
guess
else
the
could
new
you want?
That's the new little combo for Empire that makes him special.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what comes out of the book here. I think there's a few different play styles that you can go with.
Yeah.
And should be fun.
Yeah. Maxwell, thank you for joining me on this review. This has been a fun time. I'm giving Empire 2 Flaming Sunna swords way up.
I was going to say a solid 5 flaming swords out of 7.
Yes. Yeah. I really have to say it. I love what they did with the book. They did a great job.
Yeah. Yep.
Hands down, huge improvement.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Chuck.
Yeah. Thanks for Thanks for listening to our review of the Empire of Sonnstahl. I hope that your Empire armies are gloriously defending the Empire for Sunna.
Take care.
Bye.